Hello there. Welcome. Today we're going to move into the side body. This whole idea that we're continuing to work into the spine and really find, the four corners of our torso and then how we connect them. So come lie on your back. So your knees are bent. Your feet are flat on the floor. And then just flatten your lower back down and draw backwards. And then arch and breathe. So as you breathe, as you connect to your breath, be really soft in your breath. And let your breath meet the shape of you, meet the movement of you this morning. So we're mindfully in motion, flattening down and arching one more time, flattening down and arching. So if you imagine that your two shoulders are points and your two hips are points, we're going to draw our hip on the right and our shoulder on the right together. So squeeze the right side of your body. So I'm pulling my elbow down to my hip and I'm pulling my hip up to my elbow on the right. And then come out. And then pull your left elbow down towards your left hip. And just feel that you're squeezing the side of your body. And so which one do you connect with more? Is it the hip movement or is it the shoulder elbow movement? Remember your breath. Are you arching your back or are you flattening your back? Whatever you're doing, try the other version. So really deep into the side of your body. Nice. Stretch your arms out into a T and then drop both knees down to the right. And then glide the left knee up towards your right shoulder. So the gliding twist. Come back to center and drop your knees down towards the left and draw the right knee up towards the left shoulder. And then coming back and just glide, feeling the breath, connecting to the movement. Hear the side of your body. And so in side bending, or just the side of the body, there's so many different structures, so many different parts of us. So maybe you can feel your hip, your waist, your rib cage, your armpit. Maybe you can hear the side of your leg, the side of your knee. Just glide, really noticing sensations. Letting the side of your body warm up, really connecting your breath. For me, it's always important that I slow down to let the breath really infuse the posture. And notice how my feet dance across the floor as I do this. Nice. And then come all the way back to center. So we're going to do something similar, but it's kind of different. So arms are out to the side. Drop both knees down towards the right. And then float the left foot off the floor. So it's just lifted off the floor. So your left foot won't touch the floor again. So draw your left knee up towards your right shoulder. And then come back to center. Let your foot be just above the floor. Come back to center with your knees. Lift your bum off the floor and draw your left knee up towards your chest. Lower your foot down. Your bum lands on the floor. You can touch the floor with your toes as a point of reference. And then glide over towards the right. So back to center. Tap your toe. Lift your hips. Draw your knee in. Drop your bum. Tap your toe over to the right. And glide. Just feeling that. Draw your knee up towards you. So it's the same movement. One is linear and lifting, and the other one is twisted. Nice. One more time. Super. Over towards the other side. Drop both knees over towards the left. Let your right foot float. It's going to stay off the floor more or less the whole time now. Draw your right knee up towards your left shoulder. Come to land on your back. Your both knees are facing the ceiling. Lift your hips up off the floor and draw your knee up towards your chest. Lower your bum down, tap the floor with your toe, and then glide towards the left with your right knee. Come back to center, tap your toe, lift and draw your knee up towards your chest. How do you feel the breath into this? How do you feel the flow of your body as you lift? I become really aware of how my spine is articulating up and down on the floor. So I like really focusing on, rather than lifting it like a chunk, really rolling my spine up and then rolling my spine down. Nice, come back to center. We're going to bring that movement one step further. Drop both knees down towards the right, and then glide your left knee up towards your right shoulder. And then straighten your leg out as you land onto your back. Your leg is floating. Lift your leg straight up, lift your hips. Nice. Lower your bum down, lower your leg down. Glide over towards the right, bending your knee. Straighten your leg, lift your bum, lift your leg. Lower your bum, drop your leg. And so find the flow in you. So you're lifting your hips and your leg is lifting. You're dropping your leg and then you're doing the gliding twist over towards the right. One more time. You're on your back, your leg is lifting, your hips lift. Lowering down and drop your foot to the floor. Nice, other side. Drop both knees down towards the left. Let your right knee glide up. And then straighten your leg, floating just above the floor. Lift your hips, lift up towards the ceiling. Lower your bum, lower your leg. Drop down towards the left. Glide your knee up towards your shoulder. Stretch your leg, lift your bum, lift your leg. And just find the sense of flow in this for you. We did something similar on day 2, and the movement earlier is quite similar. Are you articulating up and down your spine, or is your spine lifting like a chunk? One more time from wherever you are. Nice. Bend your knee, foot to the floor. Great. So rolling over and come all the way up to sit on your mat. And so your feet are around 6 inches apart, and the soles of your feet are facing each other. And then bring your right foot to the floor and then reach both hands forward towards the left. And imagine you can bring your nose down towards your left shin. And then come back up. And then glide to the other side. So maybe your right hand is out towards the right, your left hand is forward. And so what we're doing here as we rock is that our standing leg is actually in a squatting position as such. And what we're doing deeply is strengthening and mobilizing. And so start to reach more forward with your hands. So you have a sense of reaching outwards and reaching for something. So in the body, a gesture of action is much more whole body than individual parts trying to create something. So if I say reach forward and pick up a cake or a sandwich, then we have that sense of how do I do this? And then pause and come to center. Next movement is called clamshells. So bring your feet a little bit forward. So all these movements, the tendency will be that our bum will be moving forward. So at any stage, walk your bum back or bring your feet more forward. So there's space between your heels and your pubic bone, okay? So bring your hands behind you. In the beginning, we'll layer this in the different layers. So keep your feet together and drop your right knee over towards the left. So clamshell to the left. Soles of your feet together. And then drop your left knee over towards the right. And then back. And just do that from side to side. And notice the sides of your waist, the sides of your rib cage. As you glide from one side, squeeze your knees together. Have a kind of a deep moment of contact. So if that feels strong enough, stay there. Or one hand on the floor, squeeze both knees towards each other. So just one hand on the floor. So you're traveling with just one hand in the air. Next version, both hands in the air in front of you. So you might notice that your heels and your bum are slowly approaching each other. So bring your feet a little bit forward to give you a little bit more space. So again, both hands on the floor, one hand on the floor, no hands on the floor. Stay there or reach your arms up. And so as you find your level, really value that you're listening to yourself. And just hear the deep sides of your body. One more time each side. Whatever level you're at is awesome. Nice. And come back to center. Cool. I'm going to sit my bum back. So the next one, we're going to engage the side of the body. So spin that right leg so you're into zigzag. Okay, so my left leg and my right leg, they look similar, and my two knees are pointing towards the left. And then lean into the left hand and then draw the right knee up and then bring it back. So I'm just going to glide the right knee up and back. So instead of it being clamshell, it's like a glider. Bring it up, bring it back, and then one more time, and this time we're going to straighten our leg. So straighten your leg out, and then bend your knee, straighten your leg out, and bend your knee. Nice. Zigzag. Spiral that right leg so the soles of your feet are together. Spiral the left knee so it comes into the center. Nice. Bring your right hand to the floor, draw your knee up, and then bring it back. And notice the side of your body as you do this, the right side of your body. Can you hear how something has to engage? The left side has to close, the right side has to open as you do this. Nice. Next time you're going to straighten. Squeeze your knee in, straighten. Just noticing, like, what is happening? Where is my breath? Where am I moving in me as I do this? How do I hear me? Nice. Both knees to the floor. Spiral the left leg. Nice. So last version of this. Draw the right knee in. And so you can bring your hand to the floor, or you can try and do it without your hand on the floor. So I call this motorbikes. So lean towards the left with your shoulder, and I tuck my elbow in as I do so. And then I'm going to lift the right leg off the floor and then straighten the leg. And I'm just going to glide in and out without my hands. What version of this is right for you? Maybe just lifting your leg as you lean. Maybe straighten your leg as you lean. Nice. And then pause on the full extension. You're floating maybe. Maybe you're supporting yourself. And then come back. Spiral the right leg. Spiral the left leg. And then motorbikes to the right. So lean your right shoulder down, tuck your elbow in, and straighten your leg out. And draw it in. So my knee's not really traveling up high. It's just coming back into zigzag. And the next time you do it, pause, deepen your breath. Really sinking down, hearing yourself. And then bend your knee. Nice. Bring both feet to the floor. Oh, actually, bring both knees to the floor and come into your cat pose. And just do a shoulder shrug. Shrug your shoulders deeply. Like we did yesterday, squeezing them deeply backwards, pushing them forwards. Squeeze them backwards, push them forwards. And then just the lower back. Squeezing your bum as you round, really widening the bum as you arch. Nice. And then squeeze the right shoulder and the right hip together. And then squeeze the left shoulder, left hip together. And just squeeze. And then the other side, squeeze. And just feel how you meet your rib cage. Slowing it down, breathing into your breath, breathing down into your belly. Really connecting. Nice, pause. Nice. So draw your right knee up towards your right elbow and look towards your right elbow, and then squeeze your right shoulder down. So you're shortening the right side. And then straighten your right leg out and swing it over till it lands on the left side, and look over your shoulder to look back at that right foot. Nice. And then draw your knee up towards your elbow. Squeeze it. And then stretch it long over towards the left. Look over your shoulder. Squeeze it. And using your breath, connecting. One more time. Squeeze it. All the way over the corner towards the left. And just pause there. All right, deepen your breath. Feel it in your neck, in your shoulders, in your rib cage. Shorten the left side a little bit more. Squeeze the left shoulder down towards the left hip. All right, let's come back to center. Other side. Draw the left knee up towards the left elbow. Squeeze your shoulder down. And then stretch your leg long and hop it over towards the right. Look over your right shoulder. Draw your knee up. Squeeze it in. Stretch it long. Look over your shoulder. And squeeze it up. Over your shoulder. One more time. Squeeze it up. And then over your shoulder and look at your foot. And then squeeze the right shoulder down towards the right hip and really feel the compression on the right and the length on the left. Nice. And come back to center. Lift your knees, push back into your downward dog. Have a bit of a stretch through your legs, a length. Nice. Drop your knees to the floor. Bring your elbows to the floor. So your elbows are underneath your shoulders. Your hands are resting on the floor. My palms are face down. And then lift your right hand up and bring it over beyond the baby finger of the left hand. And then lean into the right rib cage, the waist, the hip. And I'm really giving weight into my right hip and waist. And create length. You can rest up on your fingertips on the right. It gives it a little bit more energy, a little bit more connection. Like how would you bring more weight into that right hip and draw it backwards to lengthen into the side of the waist. Keep your breath steady and deep. Nice, come back. Other side, bring your left hand over towards beyond the baby finger on the right. Maybe your hand's flat, maybe you're up on your fingertips, and then lean into your hips. And really lean into that left side. As always, mind your shoulders. Only go as far as feels like wellness. Goes with everything. And deepening your breath, settling into it. Nice, and then come all the way back, both hands to the floor. And then just circle your rib cage like a hula hoop, like your chest is a barrel. Your shoulders are moving, your pelvis is moving, your rib cage is rolling like a barrel, and then roll in the other direction. There's no real right or wrong in this. Main thing is don't bend your elbows too much. Well, actually you can. You can do whatever you like, actually. I like my arms straight. It gives me more feedback into my shoulders, but bending your elbows is also nice. It gives you much more mobility into your shoulders. Wow, I learned something new. That's very nice. Nice, and then just pause there. So bring your knees as wide as your mat. And we're just going to glide a little bit. There's a thing called dancing dog, and we're going to do an introduction to that. So bring your two knees then over towards the right side, and then drop your left bum all the way down to the floor. So I say that very lightly, but it could be quite challenging to get your bum to the floor. And then you're going to lift your bum off the floor. So for me, the more you drop your head down, perhaps the easier it is to lift your bum. See what you do. What tricks do you use? Bring your two knees wide, both knees over towards the left. Drop your right bum all the way to the floor. And then what tricks do you use to lift your bum off the floor? So do that a few times. Walk both knees over to the right. Left bum comes down. Back up. Both knees to the left. Drop your right bum down. And all the way back up. So stay there, do that another few times, or do the version that comes from downward dog. So pushing back into your downward dog, turn your toes towards the right, and then bend both knees, and slowly, you can drop your bum all the way down, or just drop your hips lower down to the floor. And then come back up. Turn your toes towards the left, bend your knees, drop your right bum down. Just feel that. How do you really deeply connect into the sides of your body? If this feels like, oh my God, this is crazy, go back to the one where your knees are on the floor. Remember to reverse back to the version that suits you. One more time each side, whatever version you're doing. Using your breath, connecting in. Nice. Bring both knees to the floor. Just roll out through your shoulders. You can sit back onto your knees, or you can rise up onto your knees. And just roll. And then roll in the other direction. Nice. Make fists out of your hands, roll. And then in the other direction. Nice. Reach your hands forward. Come rest into your child's pose. So how did your day of kindness go? Somebody sent me a text to say that at work, at school, they have be kind, be kind, be kind. Kind hands, kind feet, kind words. That's very beautiful. So just feel the movement we've created in our bodies. What's happening now? Like, what are you aware of? How do you sense that? Because it's like a wash machine, you know. So because you're full of water. So if you imagine we've been moving ourselves like a wash machine a little bit, and so when you turn the washing machine off, or when you turn, the water keeps moving. Bit of a strange analogy, but. And so just feel the waters of you moving, the fluids of you moving. There's a whoosh inside you, but there's a sense of coherency, maybe, a sense of completeness, a sense of whole body. Wrap yourself in kindness. You need to be deeply kind to yourself, accepting how you are, how you're managing in this moment, the survival skills that you've utilized or you do utilize every day to overcome. And just be kind, softening your face, softening your breath. And just check in with your hope molecule. How's it going? Does it feel alive and awake and well right now? Nice. So have a great day. It's quite frosty here. It's going to be -4 tonight. So this is like a triple frost. This is the third day in a row that the ice hasn't defrosted. So be careful out there. And so great. I shall see you all tomorrow. And oh, such a delight. So lovely. Listen to your side body today and be well. Ciao.